Hey guys, Sonyx here. I hope you're having a beautiful day. So today we're going to be doing a weapons tier list for Apex Legends Season 29. Now the season's been out for about 2 weeks now, so I think I've had some decent time to kind of use all the weapons here and just give my kind of subjective, as I said, this is all personal take of ranking of the weapons, right? So you might have a different opinion, so do let me know your thoughts. And you do keep it respectful in the comments. I know these can get a little bit crazy, but yeah, just let me know what you guys think. So I think the very first thing that we have is the P20s. So I think these ones 100% belong to A tier. I mean, this got buffed this season, and once you get this thing to gold, I mean, it's game over. So you have a lot of room to fry people, and when you actually hit your shots on this thing, which is easy because you have dual P20s now, so you'll be able to pretty much knock pretty much anyone that you see. So I think P20s land a solid spot in A tier. I don't think they're broken necessarily because they're not care pack weapons or anything. The care pack P20s, when they were there, it was insanely broken. So A tiers are pretty solid for ground loot. And then next we have the Spitfire. Crazy to say, Spitfire is B tier. I know, usually I wouldn't rate it that high, but with Axel now in the meta, the Spitty can have 75 bullets in a magazine. Yep, because with one of Axel's perks, she can actually use the Spitty, and if you have 50 bullets with a purple or a light mag, you can actually get an extra 25 just for free, because it starts to eat it from your backpack first when you slide this Axel, and then it drains it from your mag, the 50. So this thing is broken. Okay, same thing with the Devo, and I'll show. Can't wait to rate that one for you guys. So yeah, the Spitty is solid, but I think if you're not playing Axel or anything, I think Spitty could be a lot lower, but still pretty decent of a weapon. Volt, I think Volt is gonna. It's crazy to say Volt is. Oh man, it's a strong weapon. It's solid because it doesn't have the spin up time as the RE, but it can still. So that means it's a lot more forgiving when someone just swings at you because you don't have to charge it like any other energy weapon. The Devo, the Havoc, the RE, you have to charge. The Volt, you don't. So this is a very clean. Actually, it's clean enough, but time to kill is a little bit slower compared to the other SMGs. So it's a very solid SMG. There's nothing to really complain about. I mean, it's a very good all arounder. I think the flatline kind of. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it to E tier. Personally, for me, I just can't use the flatline as well, but it's not a personal thing. The flatline is where's the there we go. That's the reason why. The flatline would have been higher in this list, but the Hemlock is just a lot stronger. It's everything the flatline is, but just a lot stronger. You know, there's no recoil on the Hemlock, and you get a grenade launcher. I mean, it is an elite weapon. So I think the flatline kind of fell off a little bit, and it's just not as strong as it once was. I don't think they didn't even really work on the flatline. Everything else just became stronger than it, and then the flatline was just never touched. So the Hemi was a much better choice in that regard. The Havoc, I think the Havoc is okay. Much better options exist. You know what? Let's just do it now. The Devo's S tier, guys. I'm sorry. I have ran this Devo very consistently this season just because it can kill people. Even if you don't have turbocharger yet, this thing can shred people, especially on Axel. I know I'm basing this whole tier list on Axel, but I promise I'm not. I played as Conduit, I played as Valk using the Devo, and it still fries. This thing just, I don't know why, for some reason the Devo is insane this season. It's just crazy, guys. So run it, okay? Run this gun, because I have no other explanation, but it feels really, really, really solid right now. Same thing with the Spitfire. This thing can probably put like 60 to 70 bullets with Axel's perk. But even if you don't, you have like 50 bullets on a purple mag. So I think 48 technically, but yeah, like around 50. 30-30, man. Marksmen are just gonna go down the list. I'm gonna go ahead and put the 30-30 down here, the Lombo down here. They just don't have a place. These got nerfed. These continually get they got nerfed last season. I don't think they really got touched this season. If I read the patch notes correctly, maybe I didn't. But the marksman rifles are really weak. So that honestly, I think the bow is a lot stronger in terms of actual, range. But yeah, the 30-30, the longbow, these are weak. I mean, these don't even have skull piercer on them anymore, and that used to be the kind of qualifying markers to bring those up, but not anymore. So the bow is much stronger because you can actually charge this up, and this can have 2 to 4 now, and so yeah, the bow is kind of a hybrid now. So this can have a little bit more viability. I think the R3. Come on, guys, R3 is still here. I think the R3 is still technically the best AR that exists. The Hemi is strong, but the fire rate feels a little bit slower compared to the R3's fire rate. If you can control the R3's fire rate, it can beam someone with a Hemi because you're shooting just much faster with the R3. It's a little bit like the Hemi basically has no recoil. The R3 has a little bit, but it's easy to learn. And if you have a barrel stave, it's game over. You'll still beam with the R3. And the thing is cool about the R3, you can use that close range. You can use it close, mid, long range if you wanted to. But yeah, the R3 is still kind of a solid pick for sure. The RE, I think the RE is really strong. It's a very strong contender to the since it's an energy weapon now, I think it's a very strong contender to the Volt. The only thing the reason why they're in the same tier is because it has a spin up time. The Volt has a slower fire rate, but the RE has a faster fire rate, but it has a spin up time. Do you guys see how they kind of match? Like they'll end up matching anyway. So I've used both, and I've realized both kill the same way, pretty much. You just have a little bit more recoils to control with the RE, but if you're a close range, I mean a hip fire, you'll still shred with both the Volt and the RE. So solid weapon. I don't think it's the strongest as close range. It's not an SMG, it's a pistol anyway, so it's not a bad weapon for sure. I think the Nemi is going to just go ahead and go below it's still a solid weapon. I've used it recently and I realized that this thing basically has no recoil at all, but it requires a spin up time. Like energy weapons require, I noticed most of them require some kind of work for them to actually do something. You need a turbo here, you need the spin up time here, except the Volt. Volt's like the only thing you don't need to do anything. This needs a spin up time to actually do faster fire rates, but the Hemi already by itself is way stronger because it doesn't need any crazy stuff to be able to do that, or the R3, right? So it's a solid gun, but it's not the best AR, I would say, in the current meta right now. The CAR is absolutely insane this season. It buttoned back on the ground from the care pack last season, so it's in the ground loot. But it has buffs to the magazine. So the last mag, purple or gold, you can get 30 bullets on there, meaning that you can fry people and actually have extra bullets, so that way in case you miss, you can actually still knock, right? The R9, you have no chance to miss. So there's no room for error there. But you know what? While we're talking about the R9, I'm going to put it S tier. Because even though the R9, you can't miss, the fire rate of this and the recoil is easy to learn, that you almost can't miss someone if you're at point blank range, and which is most of the time what you're using an R9. You're not slapping a 2x on this thing, right? You're up close. And so I think the R9 and the CAR are both equally as strong as each other. I know there's some people might argue like, hey, one's a little bit weaker, but they're both S tier guns. Like you need one in every game, of at least one of the other, right? Yeah, the R9, I mean, it hasn't been really reworked or nerfed or for a while now, so it's still a pretty solid weapon for sure. The Mozams, guys, I know this is insane to say, but the Mozam has been insane. I've ran the Mozam, single Mozams. I think that's 51 damage to the body, even if they're really far away. It's kind of scary. It's like a wingman on training wheels. Like it is so strong. And once you have dual Mozams and then you have like the little the Rampart perk thing that you can have 12 bullets total of the shells, then that becomes even more deadly. So I think the Mozams is one of the strongest shotguns right now, because you have a lot of room for error once you have the dual. I think some shotguns, if you miss, you're kind of dead. Like the Eva, I'm sorry to say, but the Eva is one of the weakest shotguns, especially with double tap. If you miss your double tap shot on the enemy, you're dead. And if the fire rate feels way slower on double tap than they do on the other ones. It's kind of weird. Like it feels like a nerf once you have double tap. While we're on the shotguns, yeah, the Massive is still pretty solid. I think the PK with since it has Disruptor, it's still one of the best weapons. You know, the Disruptor will just eat through shields, right? It was like the Alternator when the Alternator had the Disruptor rounds. So the PK is strong. Very high risk, high reward, but it's one of the strongest weapons out there. Mastiff, unfortunately, I feel like the Mastiff, it just isn't all the way there yet. It's strong, don't get me wrong, but you just have more accuracy with the PK because you can actually charge it up and do some distance from some pretty good mid to range combat, you know, mid to close range combat. So I'm gonna keep that A tier. Rampage, I'm so sorry to say this, but Rampage is one of the weakest LMGs that exist compared to the Devo, compared to the Spitty. Rampage, you need the Thermite. You need the Thermite for it to work. So if you don't have a Thermite, it's pretty much just going to be like a little, it's like one of these, like a longbow. It's like a little faster firing longbow and a little faster firing 30-30. So it's not doing much. The Prowler, I think, is still a really solid weapon, especially since it does have the select fire receiver where you can make sure you can get it to automatic. I don't think it's the strongest SMG right now, especially with the CAR and the CAR, and you have the Volt, and you have the the R9. So it's strong, but you need the select fire in order for you to actually make it work. Sure, you can argue that you can have really strong hip fire potential with hip fire, and the bursts, you can knock people fast. You need to have god tier accuracy in order for you to do that, which most people unfortunately don't. The CAR can get away with that, the Volt can get away with that, the RE can get away with that, but the Prowler, you can't. You need to practice to use it really well for it to perform well, which unfortunately most people won't be able to use the Prowler all that well unless you practice with it a lot. Charge Rifle, I'm gonna bring that down to, honestly, this is just gonna go down to E tier. I'm sorry, man. The Charge Rifle, it's strong with the select fire. Actually, it's a little bit stronger now that it has select fire, but it's not the strongest, I would say, because you need to get that hop up for it to work well, right? It can do a lot of damage if you're accurate, but if you miss, I mean, you're just kind of wasting ammo on a sniper weapon that just isn't the best, right? It's a lot stronger than the Longbow for sure, because it has the hop up to make it faster firing, but it's not the best sniper that exists. And that, because that title goes to the Senti. Senti is, I mean, come on, guys. Senti has not been reworked for good reason. I think Respawn knows just how strong the Senti really is. You charge this up, 158 to the head, you get your early knock, it's game over, right? You can use the Senti as a shotgun, which I do sometimes. You know, I use this thing close range. So Senti is still one of the strongest weapons out there, and I don't think I hopefully they don't, nerf it or anything, because that thing is still the old reliable. I don't think it's crazy S tier. It's not like the Kraber, which we'll go ahead and put that. Kraber is always going to go to S tier because the one shot potential on this is insane. I mean, the DPS is the highest damage output weapon per single bullet that exists in the game. So since the beginning of the game, so it's still really strong. Now, the triple take, I don't think the triple take is as strong this season, but it is more solid than the 30-30 and the bow, because you only use up one ammo. It doesn't use the 3 like it used to, and you can get some pretty solid shots in the triple take. It turns into a mini shotgun, like I said, like very similar, almost like the PK. So it's a very hybridized weapon, but it did get nerfed after it got buffed. Once it left the care package, it got nerfed really quick because it obviously they need to make it a ground loot again. So it's not as strong, but it is pretty solid as a weapon. I would say it's not as strong as a Sentinel at a dedicated kind of ranged weapon, and it's not as strong as a pure shotgun like the Mozams are, or like the PK. So it kind of falls short in that regard. Like it's trying to find a spot that it can't. It's trying to cover jack of all trades and master of none, if that makes sense. That's how I feel about the triple take. The L-Star is absolutely insane this season, guys. This thing I think with a hop up is like the more damage you do or something, like the larger the bullets are going to be. So the more likely they're actually going to land on the target because the bullets are huge. So that thing is insane, especially on Axel. So any legend makes it insane because the L-Star, basically you don't have to reload that, but it's crazy. Just try it out. The L-Star is if you see it, you need to get it, especially if you have the infinite ammo amp, just get it. The Wingman, I think the Wingman is still pretty solid. I think it's since Skull Piercer is not on the ground, it can't do the 95 that it used to. It does still 75, which is pretty strong. I think it's underused and it's an underrated weapon for sure. I wouldn't put it higher than something like the R9 or something, but it's solid. Like a good player who knows how to use a Wingman is scary. So I think Wingman is a solid B tier. I mean, it could use if they really want to make it broken, they bring back Skull Piercer, but B tier is pretty decent for the Wingman. Now we have the Alternator with double tap. I think this one is at A tier just because you need the double tap for this to work well. You can fry someone without it if you don't have the because it's very the fire rate is really, it's a lot slower than the R9 and the CAR, so it makes it easy to control the recoil. But at the cost of slow fire rate, you can't beam someone as fast as an R9 with and a CAR. You're just going to get outgunned. So those weapons are in S tier because they can actually outgun an Alternator. But once you get double tap on this thing, easily this is its own tier because this is like really powerful. But you need double tap, which can take a little bit of a time if you use arsenals or you need to the little evo thing. So solid weapon though. They've definitely brought the Alternator back from the dead from a few seasons ago. And then last but not least, we have the G7. Now the G7, I'm sorry, like I think all of the they have a really solid lineup here with the care pack weapons because this thing has double tap. It's insane. This thing shreds people really, really, really fast. So I think this is my list for the. It looks kind of strange, huh? It's like you have a ton of S tier, ton of A tier, some B tier, and then two. That's pretty cool. Which definitely shows, if we're thinking about it, the meta. It's a really balanced meta now. We used to have a tier list before previous seasons where we're having a lot of weapons in E, a lot of weapons in D. Most are in C, most are in, and then some in B, and then barely in A and S. So I think we're shifting to more of a balanced meta now, where weapons start to all feel really, really well together. So, I mean, arguably, we could even completely get rid of F and E tier and just combine these all in like C and D, and then every weapon is viable in its own right. So I don't think any weapon is terrible. That's why, I mean, we're just using these because I think this is the tier list maker had F tier and E tier, but we really don't need the bottom tier. You could still use these guns, I will say. So that's the season 29 weapons tier list for Apex. Do let me know what you guys' thoughts are, and once you're done with that, I did make a Legends tier list as well. So click on this video in the front of your screen, and if you have not yet watched the Axel guide, this is crazy because you need to watch this because Axel is insanely broken this season, and you want to learn all the techs that you can. Like I said, with the Diva, watch that guide because it'll show you just how broken she really is. Other than that, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day and take care. Thank you guys.